like to welcome Maria Koutsinas to come up to the Solea to introduce our guest speaker. As you know, today is Team Belong Sunday, that every ability may belong. This is a Sunday that I always find very strange, in as much as it's much like Mother's Day and Father's Day within the church, where we should not be dedicating one day of the year for individuals, such as honoring our mothers or honoring our fathers, nor should we dedicate only one Sunday a year to dedicating every person in our community that sometimes, as Father said in his sermon, is overlooked, is not seen. And so therefore, we welcome our speaker. We are glad to have Maria introduce Leah to us, and we also thank Konstantina for signing during the liturgy. It was a wonderful service that she offered to us. I am shocked at how quickly you're able to do that, as Father Simeon and I are sometimes very quick in our rattling off of the petition, so thank you very, very much.
This is really high. It's so wonderful to see so many people here this morning. Thank you for being here. I'd like to welcome the families and guests who are here today, including the Greek American Rehabilitation Center who are visiting us today for our 13th annual Team That Every Ability May Belong Day. Thank you, Father Dimitri, Father Simeon, for your support. Thank you, Alejandra, for the program books. My dear friends, Eleni Peidos and Kostas Zagrafopoulos, and a heartfelt thank you to my friend Tina Karagianis for providing the American Sign Language interpretation today. A special thank you goes out to my Philoptochos sisters who prepared the food buffet that you will enjoy soon. And now I would like to introduce a very special young woman who I met in 2018 at the Church of Panagias, where I was a guest speaker. She came up to me and said, "I love this special ministry, and if you ever need help, I would love to get involved." So 4 years later, she got the call. Please welcome Leah Stepien.
Good morning, Father Dimitri, Father Simeon, Presbytera Mary, all those present here in person today, and those streaming virtually from home. Thank you so much, Maria, for the introduction. I'm so honored. I'm so honored and humbled to have the opportunity to share a few words with you all this morning regarding Team Belong, previously known as Inclusion Awareness Sunday. I'm an occupational therapist, and for those who may not be familiar with occupational therapy, or OT, the role can take on many different forms as we work with a vast variety of patient populations, ranging from children in a school setting to older adults in an assisted living or skilled nursing setting, from hospitals to outpatient clinics, and just about anything in between. I currently work in both an inpatient rehabilitation and day rehab outpatient setting, primarily working with individuals through the rehabilitation from neurological conditions, including stroke, spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, neurodegenerative conditions, and more. As an OT, my primary goal is to help patients find ways to do things that they need and want to do on a daily basis, from things as basic as getting dressed or brushing their teeth, to going to the grocery store, cooking, or reintegrating into their communities. Virtually anything that occupies somebody's time can be addressed by OT, which is one of the reasons why I love this profession so much, because we prioritize what's most important to the patient. When working with the patient on a specific goal, there's two different ways to look at the patient completing the task, like, for example, attending church. The first is to approach the physical and cognitive skills of the person as they relate to whatever activity it is that they're doing. In this situation, maybe it would be addressing their ability to safely walk up the stairs to enter the church, or maybe their ability to sit or stand in a pew, or their ability to read the books in order to follow along. However, the second and much more important component is how we can modify the environment or the task itself to make it fit the person's abilities. What are some ways that we've created an environment in which someone with any disability can not only access, but actively participate in church? As Orthodox Christians coming together to worship every Sunday, we must work together to create an environment that's not only accessible and inclusive to everyone, but an environment where anyone can belong. This not only applies to the physical layout and accessibility of the church, but from the social perspective as well. From a physical standpoint, many churches have accessible ramps, dedicated parking spots. Some churches even have hearing loops or large print books available. At surface level, we may perceive these things as accommodations for people with disability attending church. However, in the house of God especially, we should not see it this way, because they're not accommodations, but rather critical supports to the participation of parishioners that belong here. But that's only the environmental component. The human component is just as critical in creating this sense of belonging. While it's a great start, it goes beyond being a friendly face greeting you at the door. It's truly getting to know the person beyond their earthly abilities, understanding who they really are, and extending love. It's opening conversations regarding the barriers that people may encounter when participating in church, or to attending church at all. It's collaborating as a team to eliminate the barriers, versus expecting the person to fit the picture of what society believes a public space should look like. It's providing opportunities for roles of not only active participation within the church's ministries, but also leadership, because everyone has a unique perspective to bring to the table, and everyone's perspectives should be heard. When I first meet a patient, I will always ask them what their goals are for things that they want to be able to do. And over the course of their time in therapy, we work together to find ways to not only work on the physical and cognitive skills that are required of those activities, but we collaborate on how to create or modify an environment to make it so that they feel comfort and belonging when engaging in these meaningful occupations. A goal that many patients have is to be able to attend church or participate in various aspects of their worship. This has provided me with a whole new perspective on how I perceive the church as being a place where not only anyone is welcome, but where anyone and everyone can belong. I encourage all of us to think about what makes us feel like we belong somewhere, and how we feel when we're participating in whatever brings us meaning and joy. This is how everyone should feel when they are in the house of God. Church is a place where every ability is not only respected and valued, but where every ability plays a critical role in making the church community whole. No one, whether a person has a disability or not, should be restricted in their participation within the house of God. Within the church, there should be no limitations to what a person with a disability can achieve. In any context, but especially within the church, we should strive to acknowledge and celebrate the strengths and talents of people within our community, rather than labeling people by their disabilities. This can take the form of parishioners with disabilities serving the church community by being part of the altar, in the choir, in parish council, in Sunday school, in Goya, in the Philoptochos, so that people with disabilities have the opportunity to feel the sense of belonging through serving others both within and beyond the church community. The community of St. Andrews serves as a beautiful example throughout the Chicago Diocese, where parishioners with disabilities actively utilize their talents and gifts to serve in the many ministries of the church. All places of worship should strive to achieve this critical sense of belonging, so that all abilities may worship together every Sunday, because our spiritual life within the house of God shines far beyond our earthly abilities. Thank you all very much for your time this morning. With humility, I thank Maria and all members of the Team Belong community for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. While I cannot offer the same type of insight as a community member with a lived experience of disability, I have had the privilege of knowing and working closely with many incredible people with disabilities throughout both my professional and personal life. We must all continue to be advocates alongside people with disabilities, so that starting with the church, the world can continue to be a beautiful place where every ability may belong. Thank you.
Leah, we thank you for everything that you do, both in your professional capacity as well as your capacity as a Christian, in praying for those and all of us who, in one time or another, are in need of your help. I would like to thank especially at this time Maria Kotsinas for leading us in our Team Belong, as well as Mr. Kostas Zografopoulos for his advocacy, not only at St. Andrews, but throughout the metropolis and throughout the city as well. We are very, very grateful for advocacy, for those that need advocacy, and champions like you really put us all on high alert on Judgment Day when we're going to be asked, so what did you do for the world? And people like you, Costa, Maria, and others are going to make us all go, well, not as much as that, but hopefully something. So we thank you all. Before we bless the baskets,